All right, today I'm going over 8 things to check for a road trip. There's 5 really easy things: the tires, the wipers, your lights, your fluids, and engine oil. The first and easiest one to check is going to be your tires. Best way to check it is to grab a quarter, put George Washington's head down, and as long as you can't see his hair, the top of his hair, which would be right there, then you're good. Your tires are over for 30 seconds, and that's what's considered safe. You should also go around to each of the tires and check the air pressure. See on here it's 35 psi, and we're good to go. Go around and check each tire to make sure they're even and at the level that they're supposed to be. And to find that information for how much air you should have in your tire, always look in the inside of your driver's side door. You're supposed to have 30 up front and 33 on the back for this truck. And if you want to get some more information about tires and know what you're looking at, I have a video that I'll link up top. All right, the next thing you want to pay attention to are your windshield wipers. The biggest thing you want to make sure is that it's not leaving any streaks or making any sounds across the windshield. You can also pull them up and take a look at the rubber on the inside. You're going to want to look for any rubber that's peeling off or cracking, anything that's coming off, rubbing it off on your fingers. That would indicate that you need to change your wipers. It's pretty easy to do. A lot of places like Advanced or AutoZone will do it for you, but that's the best place to look. The next thing you'll want to check are your headlights, your brake lights, and your blinkers. First, turn on your headlights, then check to make your brights come on, then check the blinkers on each side, and move to the back to do the same. It's also a good idea to make sure your running lights work. To do that, just turn on the headlights. And it's not as bright, but you can see that it's lit here and it's lit here. These are lights that stay on when it's raining or when it's dark out so that someone can see the back of your car. We'll say this is a lot easier to do if you have someone that's going to be looking at the lights for you, but an easy way to do it is if you drive up to a building or a garage, put the garage door down, and then really close, turn on the headlights and the blinkers for each side. You should be able to see the reflections. And then the same thing for the back. Just back in where the back is really close to the garage door and hit the brakes and turn on the lights for either side, and you can see it pretty good. All right, the next thing I'm going to check before I go on a long road trip is the fluid levels. Normally the easiest one is the washer fluid right here. It's a big one right here and it says washer fluid on the top, and that one's the easiest. And this one doesn't have to be full. If I'm going somewhere where it's going to be really cold or really a lot of bugs, I might put in some special fluid, but I'm not really too worried about this one. Another one that's normally pretty easy to find is the coolant. It's normally going to be green or red, yellow, some kind of funky color like that. But you just look for the radiator, and right behind it, right beside it, you'll be able to see, right here it says it's full, and then way down here it says it's low, and I'm right there in the middle, so I'm good to go. You can also take the cap off the radiator to make sure the coolant level is right there underneath the top, but only do that if your engine is cold, meaning that it hasn't been running for a while. The other fluid levels that you want to check are going to be your brake fluid, which is easiest to find if you find this cylinder right here or this manifold right here, which has a bunch of these brake lines coming out. So if you see something like this with all these lines coming out, it's probably your brake system, and your brake fluid is going to be close by. The best thing to do is make sure the tank is clean and shine a light behind it, and you can see the levels through it. You have the minimum and the maximum. Mine's right in here, so you're good to go. You can also just take the cap off and look down inside of it, but make sure you clean this cap off before you do it. You don't want to get any dirt in there. And then the last fluid you want to check is the power steering fluid. It's this one right here. Sometimes this is a little bit harder to find, but it's pretty much the only tank that's left. And they all have the labels on the top of the cap. Same thing here. You can shine a light behind it, and you can see that it's at a good level. And for fluids, we're good to go. All right, the last thing you need to check before your road trip, and you should be checking this pretty regular, is your oil level. To find this, you're gonna need to find the dipstick. Normally it's yellow, it's gonna say engine oil, and it's gonna have some type of handle. Sometimes it's a T, sometimes it's a circle like this. And normally that's gonna be somewhere on the sides of your engine. So look around on the sides. Normally they stick out a little bit more than this one, but you're looking for normally a yellow pull handle. Pull it all the way out. When you first pull it out, wipe it off, and then take a look. You normally are gonna have 2 marks, or on this it's 2 dots. That's where you want the oil to be between. So stick it back in, and then pull it back out. Don't wipe it this time. And you're looking for the part that's completely covered in oil, and you can see mine is down there on that last dot. So I'm actually going to add a little bit of oil to mine before I get going. And that's pretty much it for the basic stuff. Now, the three things that I'm going to get to that are a little bit more advanced are your air filter, your engine belt, and your emergency car kit. These are kind of optional items if you're going on a road trip, and it's just something to keep an eye on. Sometimes they're harder to look at on different cars too, so you might not even be able to look at it. But if you can, if you have a few minutes, it's worth checking. So the first thing is the air filter. It's going to be in a box or sometimes like a cylinder like this. Normally these are really easy to open. This just has 4 tabs that click in and pop off like that. Occasionally they'll have a screw, but normally it's really easy to get to. All you need to do is open this up and then take a look at the air filter inside. What you're looking for is dirt in between all these ridges right here. You can also lift it up and see if there's anything underneath. There's not on this one, but a lot of times you see leaves and stuff, and that's worth changing out. This one looks good. All right, the next thing that's worth taking a look at, if you can, is the belt, the engine belt. Mine's a little bit harder to get to, and some cars may even have 2 belts. But basically, what you want to look for on the belt is the inside of it. It helps if you're able to flip it over. It's hard to see on camera, but if you can flip it over a little bit, you want to look on the inside of these ridges for any cracking or pieces of rubber that are coming off. And if it is doing that, you might want to consider getting your belt replaced or just carry an extra one with you if you know how to change it out. But that's what you're looking for. Cracks on the outside, cracks on the inside, on these ribs right here, and just pieces of rubber that might be coming off. And the last thing is an emergency car kit. I'll link another video where I explained kind of some good things to have in one, but just make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. You got all your tools, you know how to work everything, and you might need to change some items out depending on where you're going, but keep some water, keep some tools, and know what you're doing with it. Keep it on you. I'll link another video where I explain some of that. But that's all there is. You got your car kit, your engine belt, your engine filter, the oil level, the fluid levels, your headlights and blinkers, your wipers, and your tires. Take care of those things and make sure they're in good shape before you go, because those are the most common issues. Good luck and have a good trip.